Hello, hello. Well, we're going to talk this morning a little bit about life on life's terms. Life on life's terms. Oh my gosh, what does that mean? And I had an example this morning of a friend of mine who actually was working in a new company, and in his first or second paycheck maybe wasn't what he thought it was going to be. They actually made a mistake, and he shared with me how he didn't go to he didn't catastrophize. He didn't his recovery is working, and he didn't think, oh my God, they're trying to screw me. He didn't go to that place where often, when we're out there practicing addicts or alcoholics, we have a tendency to catastrophize. We're like, holy shit, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. The world's screwing with me. Everybody's against me. Whatever. Those kind of thoughts that they're really self-centered fears. They really are. They're self-centered fears, and so we come into recovery, and there's just so much opportunity and so many pointings towards living life on life's terms. Like, just to relax into the moment when shit happens that we think is like the worst thing. I can think of a million examples personally over the years, that this couldn't, why is this happening? Divorces, business failures, got myself in shit in relationships with people, and I've done all of that stuff has happened, and often, the first reaction, even if it's just subtle, will be, why is this happening to me? But what's happened for me is that I recognize that, at a much deeper level, like a fundamental level, that life is for me, not against me. And that's what comes in recovery. We do the steps, and we build a relationship with our higher power, and we don't drink or use for a while. We start to see, that everything is for us. Everything is for us, and it's never against us. And that's the beauty of long-term recovery, or of having the awakening. And is that hi Santi, and Ivy, thank you. So yeah, that's it. Ego, my ego, always wants to point to what's wrong, what it thinks, how it thinks life should be. And so I know that's there. That's just part of the psyche. That's, it has now entirely, completely been washed away. My uptake is much quicker. It's like, wow, it's much quicker. And what has happened for me is that often it feels like I'm literally walking in a miracle. And that's the beauty of the promises in recovery. It's like things just flow together, and I can't actually tell. Some of the teachers say that we don't even move. Life is just moving around us. And I haven't reached that awareness yet. But so life on life's terms. Everything is for me. All lessons. Whatever it is. I was with a fellow last night who's just been diagnosed recently with cancer, and so there was a group of people, and instead of, it was beautiful because we didn't there was nobody in the group. It was a healing group that we came together and on his behalf. There was nobody in the group who was making anything wrong. you know wasn't even in a place of bad cancer, because we can do that. We can go against stuff, and thinking that it's wrong, or there's something missing, or that there's something amiss, and we just were there in love, in our voice of love. Our actions were love, and including loving whatever was happening in his body, and Beautiful, eh? So that's the possibility. You know, we can either, stay in the complaint club. You know what I mean? If you've ever been in the complaint club, um, actually, in the complaint club, sometimes if somebody says, "Hello, Emily Christine Dillon. Hi, I love you, my girl." In the complaint club, when people say, "How you doing?" Well, not bad. You know, do you really want to know? Well, my cat died. Whatever. I hate this COVID thing. I've actually been a little bit in complaint around that. Sorry. But um, if we actually, if we're feeling, we recognize that life is for us, every piece of it, then there's nothing to complain about. There's no, it's like, oh, it, so when somebody says, "How you doing?" the answer is wonderful, awesome, thank you, beautiful. And I guarantee that many people will stop and say, "Oh, what's the matter with you?" Nothing. You know, so when we get that everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, and it was beautiful. This I was just sharing with you about the fellow in the paycheck, and he didn't react for a moment. It came up, and then he breathed, and he didn't react, and he texted his boss and said, "Hey, shit, they screwed up my pay again." And the boss called him, and they had just a regular conversation, and his boss said, "Wow, you're not upset." And he said, "Well, no, I'm not upset. I know you guys will straighten it out." And his boss was blown away, and said, "Well, we really appreciate the quality of the work that you're doing for us, and we're actually looking at moving you into a supervisory role." And that came out of that conversation, where if he'd have been upset and gone to that place of, "Oh, they're screwing me and they're against me," and he called them up and said, "What do you guys fuck this thing up again?" Excuse me, sorry about the language. I'm trying not to use rough language. Anyway, that wouldn't have happened. That conversation of, "We're looking at putting you in a supervisory role and giving you a pay increase," wouldn't have happened. So beautiful, when we respond with love, and we respond with acceptance and understanding. And even if we don't, if we clean it up right away, like sometimes I don't catch myself right away. I think it was a couple of days ago. Um, I was doing one of these videos, and the video dropped. I don't know why, it just dropped. I was just starting the meditation, and it stopped. And I was feeling resistance. I was like, "Oh, this is not what's going on," and I wasn't in a pleasant mood for a moment, and just at that time, a friend called, and I chewed him out. And I really did. I was like, I kind of, I vented on him, and I had to call him back about 15 minutes later, because it took a few minutes to get it. It's like, and said, and tell him, "Look, this is what happened," and I was kind of in reaction. So we clean things up as we go. We make amends, and because we all have our moments. I want to show you this picture behind me. My friend and roommate Nathaniel drew this picture. Isn't that great? You see that? Like that's it. He created that, and then I think he's having some made up in prints, because a bunch of friends like that picture. And you guys tell me, who do you think that picture is? Anybody know who's in that picture? So um, yeah, I'll bet you do know. So there you go. Who is that? Okay. Um, so that's my thing. The whole deal in life is, is not what happens to us, but how do we respond? And so that, I mean, we all want to respond with love, don't we? That's what our preference would be. So my experience in the steps is that we get to grow into that. We really do get to grow into that. And okay, April 1st, you guys. This is we read from the 24-hour day book every day. And this is a beautiful, this is written in 1954, and having a daily reading is part of a practice, like having a daily quiet time or sit and meditation is part of your practice, daily time of prayer, brings us present into the moment and into relationship with higher thought, with higher vibration, with universal consciousness, with love, with God. However, you see that, and having a daily practice brings us into that, and brings us into gratitude. There's many daily practices: gratitude lists, prayer, meditation, reading from inspirational material, listening to David's videos, subscribing to me on YouTube. Okay, you guys, here we go. Um, April 1st. April 1st. Since I've been in the 12 steps, I've made a start towards becoming more honest. A start towards becoming more honest, and I have to agree that that was a long process. I mean, sometimes many of us recognize that fear made us dishonest. Often that fear, when fear was running the show, it's hard to be, honest, isn't it? We're reacting out of fear, and sometimes it's not honestly. Then he says, become more honest. Do I no longer have to lie to my wife? Okay, in those days, 1954, most of the members of AA were men. It wasn't intentionally that way. It was just that in the early days there wasn't um, as many women, and now there's, I think, probably close to half, or certainly I would think more than 40% of our membership is women. But do I no longer have to lie to my wife? Am I on time at my work, and do I try to earn what I get? Am I making an attempt to be honest with myself? Have I faced myself as I really am? And have I admitted to myself that I am no good by myself? Have I faced myself as I really am? And have I admitted to myself that I am no good by myself, but have to rely on God to help me to do the right thing? So, yes, am I beginning to find out what it means to be alive and to face the world honestly and without fear? I think that's just what I spoke about, moment to moment. How do we respond? Meditation for the day. God is all around us. His spirit pervades the universe. And yet, we often do not let his spirit in. We try to get along without his help. And we make a mess of things, make a mess of our lives. We can do nothing of any value without God's help. All our human relationships depend on this. When we let God's Spirit rule our lives, we learn how to get along with our fellow men and how to help them. Beautiful. So how do we do that? We connect on a daily basis. We connect on a daily basis. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may let God run my life. I pray that I will never again make a mess of my life through trying to run it by myself. Beautiful, eh? So we get that. That's step one. It really is. It's just, step one is that I'm powerless, and that my life is unmanageable. When I'm running the show, I'm always running it from fear, self-centered fear, from self-pity, from what about me? It's always with me in the middle when I'm running the show, and it doesn't work. So, um, I hope that we all get that. You know, I don't know if I had a guy the other day say that, nobody comes to recovery until they're ready. And I think that's right. And that, uh, I'm not promoting recovery when I do these videos. I'm just, my hope is to, encourage people, I guess, that who are trying, who want to have a different life. My hope is um, to plant the seed for folks, I can't. It's not my business how it grows, or how how anybody responds to this message. But my hope really is to just to lay this out gently without any expectation. And you know, on a day-to-day basis, reading from this reading and sharing my personal story and my experience. And so I hope that it's, you know, you find it tasteful. Yeah, no expectations. Everybody is exactly where they need to be in this moment. And can we shift? You bet. I know that we can, you know, and say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And no, but we can put salt in his oats. We can salt the oats a little and make him thirsty. And so hopefully sometimes this makes you a little thirsty. You think, my gosh, I could have a life of freedom. I could be free. And yeah, that's my hope. So um, I'm going to just sit for a couple of minutes. You know, at this time, normally we sit for a few minutes. Um, that's the whole deal. Is to just take a few minutes and in that quiet time when we sit like this, you know, it's just the idea is to just do nothing. There's nothing to do but just sit and, you know, watch our thoughts. You know, thoughts don't stop. You know, you know what I mean? I mean, don't expect that. You know, just be here now. Be with what is. And but we'll do it with our eyes closed. And wherever you're sitting, you know, find a comfortable spot to just drop in and become present in this moment. How do we become present in this moment? Often we use the body, you know, this beautiful piece of equipment that has been loaned to us, you know, to that we get to live in this body, and so become conscious of it. You know, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. It's amazing, and we're not our bodies. We you know, we experience them. We live in them, but and to be grateful for such an amazing piece of equipment. So let's be conscious of it. Let's, you know, look at, bring our attention or our focus into our feet. You know, I don't know if you've ever looked at all the pieces that go into making, you know, our feet work. And so, you know, we're constantly balancing, and it's beautiful. Just feel, bring your consciousness into your toes and your soles of your feet and your heels and into your ankles. So what a piece of equipment. And then bring your consciousness into your calves, your awareness into your knees. Oh, the knee. Imagine what a beautiful piece of equipment that is. And, you know, and then into your thighs and your butt and your hips. It's all just amazingly built for us. So with gratitude, we just come into the moment, into our bodies, to our back, lower back, you know, how we sometimes complain about our bodies. And, you know, what a gift. What a gift into our bellies. Our digestive system is so well, you know, it couldn't be made any more perfectly. It's beautiful. Into our chest, into our lungs, bring life-giving air and oxygen into our bodies. To our heart, as our heart expands. So now we're here, we're in our body, we're in our shoulders, we're in our fingers and hands, we're present in this moment, in this body, in this breath. In our neck, in our skull. We just bring our consciousness and awareness into our head. And then just feel it expand. The consciousness that we are expand into the room. We're an expanded self in this room, one with this moment in time. Just sit with that in this space. If thoughts come up, just let them go. Just let them go. Nothing to do. They're like clouds. They'll just transform. They'll just move. As we let them go, the world becomes clearer. The sun shines in. We feel the presence of divinity, the presence of light, the presence of love. We are one with that love, one with that light, one with divinity. If thoughts come, just come back to your breath. Now, I'm going to leave you. And if you want to stay in this space, please do. The more we do this, the more we practice our little quiet time, the easier it is to drop into this emptiness, this isness, this openness, this expanded place. Practice. Love you guys. Thank you. Just want to remind you, Monday, 7 o'clock, we have a little sharing group. You're all welcome to join us on Zoom. Okay, thanks you guys.